Today, I'm going to be putting myself in a time capsule and burying myself in the ground. That's not on the agenda today, don't worry. Not burying myself alive. Hi, hello, welcome back to my channel. It's so hard to not say that in a sing-songy way. Welcome back to my channel. Boring! Welcome back to my channel. That's more like it. It's a snowy day here in... I almost said my city, here in Missouri. Here's some cozy, snowy vibes, even though I hate snow and the cold. This is for all you snow lovers. You're welcome. Cheers to you. Even though I hate the snow! Not hating snow being part of my personality. I just realized you can tell I'm bundled up in my Baymax blanket. Baymax is down here on my legs, keeping them nice and warm. Today, I'm gonna be making a reader time capsule. This is a video that I wanna try and film each year, though a part of me knows that I'm going to forget to do it. I don't even know how to remind myself to shoot this again. Like, maybe a sticky note that will live on my wall forever. Put a reminder to myself at the end of my planner. I know you can send like scheduled emails. Can I email myself from now to like January 1st of next year? Wait, I can. Technology. We love to see it. Take down the sticky note. We found a solution. Anyway, I've been thinking about my taste when it comes to reading and just how it constantly evolves and how I am constantly changing and growing as a person and how that also affects my reading taste. And I don't really have concrete evidence. Concrete evidence. What is this, an investigation? I don't have a record of those shifts within my reading life. And I want to have a video to eventually someday be able to look back on, even though I rarely watch back my videos. Once it's published, I hardly ever watch it again. But anyway, I just think it'd be fun to be able to look back eventually and see the growth within myself and see how much I've changed and evolved over the years in terms of my reading taste specifically. Can you tell I'm a very reflective person? Any chance I get to have a moment of reflection, I'm taking it. I'll take that. Yes, please. Catch me out here basking in nostalgia. Let's get started. What's the book that impacted you the most recently? I'm Glad My Mom Died by Jennette McCurdy. I literally forgot to include this book on my best books of 2022 video, and I was so mad at myself when I realized, and I didn't even realize until after I posted the video. So I always watch my videos back before posting them, and I watched that video back and I was like, something is missing here. Yeah, something's missing here, you dummy. This book right here. Gonna smack you with this book for forgetting. Moving on, this is a memoir by Jennette McCurdy, who was on the hit show iCarly. We follow her life as a child star, her turbulent relationship with her mom, and her struggles with an eating disorder. The thing about this book is that you hear about all the hype, you hear about all the buzz. Everyone ever has been talking about this book since its release. It all started when the title dropped. People were like, oh, talk about a striking book title, you've got my attention. And then people read it and the raving began. But that hype doesn't click until you're in the thick of it and you connect the dots with how chill-inducing, gut-punching, heartbreaking everything is that Jennette McCurdy has been through. The reason that I found it impactful is that despite all her hardships, she was able to prevail and carve out a better future for herself. She was fully set up to end up in a worse place, but before she got there, she took control of her narrative. Also, the fact that she's able to bear it all within the book and then release that book worldwide is very admirable. It's not easy to basically put your diary in a bookstore. My diary would be so embarrassing to put in a bookstore. I always try to be really heartfelt and emotional, and then I read it back and I'm like, cringe, cringe, cringe. It's supposed to be my safe space and it ends up being a cringe space. Yes, it is incredibly hard to work your way through this book because of how rocky McCurdy's life is, but it does reach a hopeful place by the end of it. And her even being able to write this book and then share it is a sure sign of that. What's the book that you loved the most recently? I think Mika in Real Life was the most recent top tier book I read. In it, we follow Mika, whose daughter she put up for adoption at birth is reaching out to her to connect. But Mika is scared to form this connection because she doesn't have her life together, and so she ends up resorting to lying about her life. The reason I loved it so much is because I related a lot to Mika, not in the fact that I had a daughter. Yeah, that would be a plot twist none of y'all saw coming. And also not in the fact that Mika lies. I'm not a liar, but more so in the fact that Mika is in her 30s, she doesn't have her life together, and she's trying to cover up that fact. I find that severely relatable. It's sad how relatable I find that. But here we are. It's not that I cover up the fact that I don't have my life together. Trust me, I'm the first to call myself out in front of y'all in these videos. We know this. I'm always gonna beat people to the punch. But outside of this channel, outside of these videos, in the real world, I'm very good at pretending everything is intact when in fact everything is not. It's not lying, I just reverse every question that's asked to me and make it about other people. For example, I'll be asked, how's it going? Oh, it's going, but what about you? How are you doing? How's life? How's your children? How's your dog? How's your mom? How's your dad? Tell me everything about you and let's not talk about me. Because the truth is, I don't want to talk about me and the fact that I have no idea what I'm doing. Seeing those things reflected in this book was very comforting to me. It was a reminder that I am not alone here. I'm not the only person that is this way. A lot of us are going through it and doing our best. What's your most loved trope at the moment. I don't know what the name of this trope is, but I've noticed that I've loved reading books about characters that get caught up in situations that they don't want to be a part of. And typically there's a way to avoid these situations. So books like Mika in Real Life, the Finley Donovan books, the Mary Shelley Club, these are all books that I read last year that have these elements within them. The characters get themselves in these very messy situations, but the characters bring it on themselves to get themselves involved within these things. And I love seeing the explosion of chaos that this brings to the story. I don't know if this trope has a name, but basically, chaos. Give me chaos or give me nothing at all. What topic do you love seeing be explored in books? Death! I should be the cover model for death. What am I saying right now? I think death is definitely a topic that I'm loving exploring within books, but I'm definitely like wanting to widen my horizons and not only read books about death. It's not that I like the act of death occurring in books. In fact, I'd rather not my favorite characters be executed. That'd be helpful to my well-being. But I love the aftermath effects of the death that takes place. Seeing how it warps the lives of the characters surrounding that person that dies, how grief strikes and the different ways that people cope. A+. Yay, death! Yay, death! 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 Not the death chant. What's your current favorite genre? I think it's interesting because normally I would answer this by saying that magical realism is kind of my favorite genre. Like, I love the magical realism genre and I feel like it is one of my favorites, but you wouldn't be able to tell that in my last year of reading. In fact, my last few years of reading. You'd probably look at my Goodreads and be like, ah, I see. He's a contemporary fiction boy through and through. I'd say I'm starting to come out of my contemporary kick. I feel like I've been saying that for a few years now and I still am in my contemporary phase, but I'm working to get out of it. I feel like I'm towards the end of it, okay? Okay. Okay. Not saying I'll fully cut ties with the genre because that's just not realistic for me, but a little break never hurt nobody. I actually have been thinking a lot about my reading and why I think I kind of fell into this like contemporary hole that I could not get out of. And I think I have a good reason. So let me explain myself. Not that I need to explain myself. This is mostly for me in the future. Hello, Jesse. This is why you were in a contemporary hole. I think I've been through a lot in the past 2 years of my life, but your boy was going through it mentally and physically. I was in the ringer going pew pew, but instead I was the one getting pew pew. And during that time, contemporary fiction was just easy to read, whereas fantasy and sci-fi and other genres like that would have been harder for me to fall into as I was sorting myself out. Because for me personally, it takes a lot more brain power to work through things like fantasy than it does a contemporary book. With fantasy, you're learning a new world, you're learning magic, you're learning characters, whereas my little contemps, I can easily slide into them, and the only thing I have to really learn are the characters. Easy, easy, easy. But I'm looking forward to getting back to other genres and getting my brain to work overtime. Time to clock in, brain. Time to get to work. What's your favorite format to read in? Audiobook combined with physical book. It's the best method. You can't tell me otherwise. If you haven't tried it yet, you're missing out, pals. It's the most immersive reading experience that allows you to sink into the book fully and let reality slip away. It's literally the best. I'm so dramatic. Show your favorite bookmark. This one, I've been really vibing with this My Neighbor Totoro bookmark that I have. Basically anything Studio Ghibli brings me comfort, and this brings me immense comfort when I see it. It makes me happy. It makes me think about how happy the Studio Ghibli films make me. I love it. It's excellent. Perfection. What do you think this year of reading will look like for you? I'd say for me, I am trying to figure out my reading tastes again. I feel like I'm currently enduring a reading dilemma, whereas I'm very excited about books and I'm super excited about reading, and I've been reading a lot lately. Like, I've been having the best time reading. It feels so good to be back to reading, and I know it's like the new year, you get that fresh start, so of course I'm like really excited about reading, so I hope that I maintain this feeling. Like, I wish I could just like bottle this up and just carry it with me and just be excited about reading all the time. And like, as the year goes on, things do kind of mellow out, but I'm gonna try to like ride this wave out throughout the year and keep being excited about reading. But I am currently going through a reading dilemma where like, yes, I am so freaking excited about reading, but I'm also like, what do I like anymore? What kind of things interest me when it comes to books? And that both excites me and scares me. Like, I could just like fall back into reading contemporary fiction, and I genuinely, I don't want to do that. Like, the thought of that makes me tired. I don't want to just read contemporary fiction. I know that I'm missing out on a lot of books by continuing to like wear that safety belt, that contemporary lover safety belt, where that's all I read. But I think it'll be a year of experimentation for me. Last year, I was surprised to find that I actually like romance books. That was the most like earth-shattering thing when it comes to my reading life. I was like, hello? I was fully expecting to continue to make hating romance books a part of my personality, but plot twist, I realized that there are romance books out there that I like. I'm not saying that I'm gonna love every book that I read within the romance genre. It was just proof to me that just because I've had a few bad experiences within the romance genre, it doesn't mean that I'll hate every book within that genre. And I feel like that's gotta be true about other genres that I've had kind of like a bad taste in my mouth towards. So yeah, I think that if by the end of this year I have experimented a lot with my reading and experimented a lot with my content, that I will be satisfied. That's what I want out of this year. I just want to try different things and stop holding myself back from trying different things, because I am the best at holding myself back. A big reason why I wasn't very consistent with my content last year is because I was holding myself back, and I'm trying to push myself back from myself. That sounds so weird, but I'm pushing myself from the version of myself that is holding myself back. What's the video that you're most proud of that you made in the last year? The 18 bookstores in 2 days vlog that I did last year. I put my blood, sweat, and tears into that video. Not really, but I feel like I put a lot of my creative energy within that video, and I very rarely find myself proud of videos that I make. So that was top tier. Finally, what's a YouTube channel that you've been loving lately? I've been loving a lot of fantasy booktube channels lately. The ones that come to mind immediately are William Gwyn, Petrick Leo, and Booked and Busy. All of their content is like vastly different from my content, but I prefer watching people who have vastly different content from me. A big reason why they're all kind of my go-to right now is because I am trying to get back to the fantasy genre, and it's nice to watch people who consistently read fantasy and have content surrounding that. That is it for the Reader Time Capsule. Again, I hope to do this video every year where I come back and reflect on my reading year, seeing the different books that impacted me or the books that were my favorite and how those kind of reflect where I'm at in my life. I think it'll be really cool. I've got that email reminder, so I will definitely be doing this again next year. Feel free to answer some of the questions down below in the comments, but the thing that I want to hear from you guys today, what's a book that you read in the past year that is a solid reflection of your current reading taste right now? Let me know your answer down below in the comments. If you like this video, be sure to go and hit that like button. If you want to see more bookish content from me, be sure to go and hit subscribe or go and hit that bell icon and you'll be notified every time I post new videos. As always, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope your day is bright, that tomorrow is brighter. Keep reading what your heart desires, and I will see you soon with a new video. Bye, yo! You can see my back. You can see my back. And hear my freaking chair that is so crickety. Hi, I'm in the middle of filming. Oh, my nose is so itchy! Whoa. That was an intense sniff. This chair is so squeaky. I need a new reading chair. Where did I even get this from? I think I got this from Amazon. That's very telling. I need to like get a bougie one. Does anybody want to sponsor a reading chair for me? Please, please. But one that's like easy to move around for filming. Not me asking for a sponsorship. Somebody, please. Anybody? Favorite bookmark? Oh, shoot. Hold it right there. Let me go get it. So yeah. Whoa. Voice crack again.